Hey folks, this is Scott. We're going to take a look at section 6.4 today. We're going to talk about some early probability pieces with that, how we can find some of the possibilities as we just kind of work out some of these pieces with that too. This unit begins on page 281, and it kind of talks about how to lay out some of these things as far as probabilities and some different techniques that way with all that too. Let's say, for example, you're going to throw a coin into the air and you want to find out how many times it would have all heads or all tails. Okay, so the first time you throw that coin in the air, you're going to get a heads or you're going to get a tails. Okay, now second thing is true. When you throw it in the second time, once again, you're either going to get heads again or a tails, and same thing would be true on this one, a heads or a tails. And then the same thing is true that third time when you're going to go throw the coin. You're either going to get heads or a tails, heads or a tails, once again heads or a tails, and heads or a tails. Those are your two options. So then as we look at the possibilities here, if we go heads, 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 we have the possibility of getting 3 heads in a row there. Or we go heads, heads, tails. We could go heads, tail, heads, or we could go heads, tails, tails. And then we could go tails, heads, head. We could go tails, head, tails. We could go tails, tails, heads. Or we could go tails, tails, tails. So those are the eight possibilities that you get. And if we want to know what the probability was of getting all heads or all tails, it would be 1, 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 out of 8. Or if we reduce it down, 1 out of 4, or 25% of the time, you're going to, when you flip a coin 3 times, you'll flip all heads or all tails with that. So that's kind of one of the first things it does in here, and just kind of takes you through those pieces of how to do those. And there's some very good verbiage on page 284 on what you need to do, and you can go ahead and do some of the exercises too. There's just 12 of them on page 285. So you can go through and do those self-study exercises on page 285. And if you have any questions, please let me know with all that. Have a great rest of the day. This ends chapter 6, or section 6.4 of chapter 6.